Hello and welcome to the Keeper's Corner podcast with your hosts Matt Sterling and Brandon and Michelle Brooks. We are breaking down anything and everything Utica City. Let's go. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 8 of the Keeper's Corner podcast.
Been a bit.
We are here with your usual hosts Matt, Brandon, and Michelle.
Hey.
And we have a couple guests with us today. New member of the City Keeper section, Katie McKinney.
Hi, guys.
And also City Keeper member, but he runs a few other Utica City groups as well, and his own MASL show, Off the Wall. Matt Huber, otherwise known as the FC Fanatic.
What's going on, guys?
Or, in the box.
In the box, yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, I was just going to go with it.
Off the Wall's the group.
Yeah.
We're doing good.
It's been a long day. We're going to apologize for the weirdness now.
Yeah, it was opening weekend hunting. I'm tired.
Who cares? It was opening soccer.
Exactly.
Well, it wasn't opening.
It wasn't official opening.
It was
but we came
pre-opening.
home.
It
Okay.
was a great turnout, though, too, considering it's a preseason game. It was pretty full.
Yeah,
It was, yeah.
It was definitely a good turnout. Definitely a great crowd came out today, and helped to. And the guys came out.
Yeah, the guys.
They came out in force.
Yeah, it was, according to Tommy, there were over 2,100 people there today.
I feel like there was.
I feel like there
More
was
than
more.
that.
It felt like about that much.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was pretty
it fits
crowded in certain
3,500.
sections.
It's better than Harrisburg. We had 1,500 people. You had 6.
we could count the people that time. but
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of old style.
2,100 for a game that doesn't matter
Yep.
Yeah.
against Team Canada, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but there were only like 5 or 6 of them from last year's Metro Stars team.
I didn't recognize anybody. I honestly didn't.
I think there's more. I think there was more from the Metro Stars team.
Okay.
I would say more 9, possibly 10, but I'm not too certain. I don't have the roster in front of me, but I would say a good chunk of them were from last year's team.
Okay.
I was pleasantly surprised to see we had some Metro Stars fans down there.
Yeah.
I saw a few of their scarves in the crowd, so that was nice to see them coming down again for an exhibition match that really doesn't have any necessary bearing on the season, but at the same time, it gives the guys on both sides a good time to begin to interact, begin really trying to coerce and come together in a game setting versus just practice or practicing against each other. So, I mean, it's a great experience for both teams, regardless of the bearing it has on the season as a whole.
It was also really great to see how the new dynamics of the team work because of all the new players and the returning players. To see how they are going to play with each other on the field in a active setting rather than in practice.
I do have a suggestion for Canada, though. Let's not wait until game time to do our team photo. Let's not wait until everyone's ready to play. Team picture, guys.
That was probably the first time they've been together.
Yeah, I was
Probably,
gonna
yeah.
say.
In uniform, at least.
So, I mean, how do we want to break it down? What's the best way to do it? Quarter by
Probably-
quarter?
Jump in head first.
I would go through like the major sections, like kind of like the major highlights, and then fill in the gaps, maybe.
Well, we could.
How's he want to do it?
Oh, he disappeared again.
Oh, no,
No.
Matt, come back.
Oh, no, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Just lost the video, so.
I'm good. We're here.
Yay,
All right.
stealing.
I'm right here.
Um,
Stealing.
I mean, I guess we should start at the beginning. Slightly different starting lineup from what we're used to seeing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Callahan slotted in where Slav would usually be, and you had Tagba on the back line.
Callahan made up for it, though.
I gotta say, just in general, over the course of the game, I mean, the defense was solid.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple of times, obviously, where, things faltered a little bit. But overall, I mean, as I was putting it in the game, we had double T on D, Togba and Toby. And it just seemed like every time those two seemed to kind of come together pretty well.
There was so many close calls, and those two just jump right in and save the day.
I feel like Toby's got some competition this year for Defender of the Year.
Well, I mean, when our goalie was not in goal those couple of times, you had Toby jump in, and you had, I believe it was Zuniga that
Zuniga blocked the
jumped
ball
in
with his face.
to block two goals.
There was a lot of headshots in this game. I think Liam Callahan went off twice because he smashed his face with the ball a few times. And then
Well,
he
the
pulled it
second
out.
one, I think the second one was to the stomach.
Okay.
The second one was to
Okay.
the stomach. The first one was to the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight on, no shot.
But I mean, without those two, I mean, it could have easily been a 6-4 game. I mean, it still would have been the city's favor, but it would have been a much closer score than what it was.
There were some issues with the refs, though.
Yeah,
There always are, but
Every fan, all fans are going to disagree with the calls that refs make.
But speaking of headers too, who's the one that scored a goal off of a header? Christian.
No, it was Jake.
Yeah, it was.
Well, it
definitely-
was Jake.
Jake
Okay.
had
Jake.
one,
Yeah.
and wasn't that how Tunic finished?
Tunic
Tunic.
had the header from Bo.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the
Yeah.
first quarter, I was pretty surprised to see Togba and Toby out there.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, in the back line. Toby and Schindler had great chemistry last year, and I thought those two in the back would be solid once again this year. But maybe they're trying something different. I love to see Togba and Roberts in the back line because they're both fast,
Very
They are
fast,
fast.
beyond fast.
and they're both offensive minded.
Yes. I was shocked to see Toby and Togba stay in as long as they did. Because second half, Hall pulled most of the starters. Bo, Coughlin.
Yeah, once he got to that 6-goal lead, and
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
pulled it. But he kept Togba and Toby out there.
Yeah, I think they were gonna get Perella in there in the second half. I had
yeah.
a
right.
suspicion that was gonna happen, but
I
Yeah,
mean,
the
it made
first-
sense. You don't want to just have Coughlin play the whole game, especially again, being an exhibition. You want to be able to, showcase both of them and give them some actual game time, but in a game that doesn't necessarily matter.
They did rotate the players really well, though. So you had some of the veterans, and then you had some of the new guys, at least to the team, rotating on. So there was always that mix of veterans and new guys.
Hall's always been good at rotating.
Mhm.
It was really impressive to see how they acted and reacted and how they played off each other so well, considering it's the first game.
I mean, you've also got the guys that were attempting to kind of earn their stripes too.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Tunic, Tim
Goldman.
Goldman.
Mr.
Mr.
Miyagi?
Miyagi! He does approve of that
Yes,
nickname.
Yes, that's it.
yeah, the first quarter they started off a little slow.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it looked like they were just kind of getting their feet wet. But once like the first 5 or 6 minutes went by, they started getting their footing.
Mm-hmm.
Right around the goal that Bo made, I think that really woke him up, that second score. Because then you really started seeing a lot of the faster paced footwork and passes going into play.
Yeah, for the first little bit, it definitely felt like they were easing into it, and that's how I kind of felt with, Bo initially, was that, he was just kind of easing back into the swing of things.
Same with Schindler.
Yeah, same with Schindler. Both of them kind of felt really stiff in the first quarter, and even Bo in the second quarter. They just, I don't know, the way they moved, the way they ran, the way they were playing just felt extremely, for lack of any other better word, they were stiff.
Well, Bo did also go down, what was it, first quarter?
First quarter left calf, I believe,
Left hamstring.
or left
His
hammy.
left hand me.
Yeah.
It was right.
And he was
Yeah,
able to walk off and come back.
Yeah, he was running off of it. So he was fine at that point.
It didn't stop him from playing the rest of the game, that's for sure. He was still moving it pretty good out there.
Yep.
I'm more worried about Zuniga.
He seemed fine after because they had the signings, and
Yeah, I texted Tommy and he said he's fine. So
Okay.
Good.
So Zuniga should be good to go next week.
as should Moises Gonzalez. From what I heard, he had a hamstring injury himself.
Okay.
Did do warm-ups, but did not play obviously today. But should be ready to go for Baltimore on Friday.
Well, yeah, don't try to push him into playing if he's going to potentially re-injure himself.
Yeah, and we have to look at this, guys. We were missing Moises Gonzalez. We were missing Ricardo Dieguez, and Mauricio Salas was not there as well. So there's 3 offensive players right there.
Yeah, I noticed Salas wasn't there either.
Yeah, not really certain what's going on with that. I guess we'll end up seeing what happens on Friday.
Like Dieguez, he was just added to the active list this week, so
I'm assuming visa paperwork finally went through.
I would have to assume that's what it was, but hopefully he'll be here. Chemistry-wise, considering all the new pieces, they meshed really well. I mean, there were a few moments where you could see someone would get led a little too far on a pass because you weren't used to the speed or minor stuff like that. But we saw some great give and goes between the guys, like on Segura's goal, where it just looked perfectly executed.
Yeah, there was some really golden moments that came around every so often, and you could see them, when they were really meshing and when they were really coming together with their plays, and it showed some real potential for these guys. As long as once everybody really gets on the same page, it could be something for sure.
Yeah, Christian Segura really. That's what I was looking at the most. How he would take the spot of Saldisa, and I mean, he didn't disappoint in my book. He was making plays, just unselfish passes. Like he's gonna be fine in that offense. He will be quite the addition.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely no question there.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I was impressed with him. Tagba, another, like we said, very quick off the back line. Zuniga, we all saw that rocket that hit the glass, went straight up above the rafters.
It slammed into the rafters, then came down into the fans below.
I thought that was going to get stuck.
People going, holy crow! He had some really a lot of power behind his kick.
What'd you say, Matt?
I said I thought that was going to get stuck.
Yeah. He's, I got to admit, I feel bad for anyone's face if it happens to stop one of his rockets.
I feel bad for anyone who gets in front of a ball from him.
Just in general.
I'd be more worried about the facial area, though. Like, that'll do that, too. I mean.
That's where I was going with it.
You have not seen, honestly, guys, you have not seen a rocket yet. Moises Gonzalez has one of the hardest shots I have ever seen in my life.
Oh, great. Well,
good.
Cover your parts, people.
Yeah, cover those parts, because
plastic wrap.
That's not going to do anything. Bubble wrap. There you go.
Bubble wrap. We'll hear the popping all the way up into 12.
Yep.
Then between him and Zuniga, I think we'll definitely have some really good pressure, even if it doesn't necessarily go into goal. If it goes off of someone, that could cause some kind of basically it could cause. I was gonna say not so much damage, but it's more of a mental game at that point. It's like, do I want to get out of the way of this thing, or do I want to let it go past me and potentially score a goal? So I mean, it can kind of turn more into a mental game at that point.
I haven't seen Gonzalez play. Obviously, nope. Well, Matt has. Matt's probably watched game footage of him.
Yeah.
Well,
Gonzalez used to play for Syracuse.
Well, but also too, Zuniga's very light on his feet.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to actually having the ball, he's very light. He's very quick. Those rockets he shot, though, I was terrified.
I was afraid they were going to go out in the crowd and hit some person in the face.
Yeah.
Like, as an onlooker, you're not prepared for a ball to hit you.
Well, I mean, let's be real here. When we go to Rochester, we're going to be level with the field. It's not going to be Harrisburg where you've got that safety net of that track. No, you're just duck.
Face masks from the Comets games might be needed
Duck.
in that case.
You guys will be fine. I sit right at the front. I didn't get hit tonight.
True.
Thankfully.
Yes.
Yeah,
Don't you have plastic in front
No.
of you?
No, he doesn't.
No,
Well,
he's not.
sort of.
The only glass
Well,
there separates
sort
of.
him from.
The way it's set up is you've got the two seats in the front, and then there's like a curved piece of glass that kind of covers the seat closest to the bench, and so balls can't come in that way. But they can definitely come in the other way. But there is some sort of barrier.
Ouch.
Yeah. I've seen they mostly go off towards
They liked to play.
next to where the visitors bench is. Like there's that one gap where the visitors bench is, and then the other piece of part of plastic where the
Yeah.
glass starts, and it just shoots off there. Like, okay.
They like to play in the corners a lot this game. There was a lot of
What did he just do?
ball fights in the corner pockets, so it was kind of hard to
Did
tell
Bo
who
really
had
do
the
a
ball.
somersault when he scored his goal?
Not to my knowledge.
Somebody.
Don't remember seeing
Who's
that.
doing is that Bo? That's Bo. Somebody's doing a
I don't
somersault.
remember.
That
He
wasn't
scored the
today.
second one, right?
Oh, I don't know.
There was
No, that wasn't today because
Let's
that's not a Metro Stars jersey. That's a white jersey.
yeah, they had the Blues on.
We were just looking through the official at Utica City FC Twitter and just looking at some of the, replays, and that happened to be one that looked like it was from a goal celebration, just not from today.
So, Matt, you kind of have more info than the rest of us. Tunic, Goldman, are they from the tryout squad?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
The only guy I do have information on is Mike Semedo, who is number 22. He was a defender.
Yep.
Yes.
He has played in the MASL before. He played for the Baltimore Blast. And he also impressed me when it came to the guys that aren't as famous as the starters.
Mhm.
Very, very aggressive, just it was great. I think it'll mesh well with the rest of the defense if he gets called up because of injury.
There's the hoping.
But yeah, the rest of the guys I've never heard of. So
Yeah. Petrara was back,
right.
and
Yep.
Tim Goldman, right?
Yes.
I think I found him. Tim Goldman, he's a midfielder. He has played for the Bombers in 2012. He was played all through high school. Looks like he was a captain.
He's a tryout, sounds like.
It sounds like he's a tryout. It looks like, let me get his stats up here for us.
So in 2012, he scored 1 goal in 110 minutes, and that was for Ithaca.
He only has 2010, 11, 2012. It looks like he's been on hiatus.
Well, college. So.
Yeah, and high school, but there's no information about that.
I'm guessing tryout.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think you're
He
gonna
is
see.
pretty good. He worked well with the guys on the field, though.
Yeah, I think you're going to see these guys be a part of the roster because the roster is supposed to be, what is it, max 26?
Yeah.
But but 16 for the game day.
Right.
So I would imagine these guys would be the 10 or part of the 10.
Yeah, they did say you would see some guys that weren't listed in the pregame roster there who are still playing to make the team.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if some of those guys we would see in Mississauga or Windsor or wherever. Windsor. Yeah, they're playing in Windsor this year.
Yeah, that's
when they play in Canada and guys have visa issues or whatever.
yeah.
So they'll end up playing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
especially on those back-to-back games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely I could see some promise in some of those guys. I mean, just some of the plays they were making. And I mean, you could tell a couple of them. I mean, Tim there he was on it. I mean, he was definitely hustling, definitely trying to
sliding all over the place. He was you're right. So he definitely impressed me as well. I mean, all of them did. From what I saw.
Yeah. The second quarter, Utica really looked like they were going to start running away with it.
Mm-hmm.
The new goalie did some really impressive saves too.
In the third.
That was in the
Wow.
third.
Yeah, in the third.
Yeah, it was 4-0 going into the half. And then I guess, we could say that third quarter issue from last year kind of reared its ugly head again.
Yep. Third quarter slump.
Yes, they didn't concede any goals in the third, but they didn't score any. And
Well, can we go back to the second quarter just really, really quick? I don't know if you guys noticed this, but during the second quarter, there was a time where Yankovic from Canada, who is like 6'7", Christian Segura was marking him. So there's about 1.5 foot difference between the two.
Mm-hmm.
It looked rather interesting from my perspective. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No, really. What we noticed about Yankovic was, I think it was third quarter.
When he was in the goal?
When he was holding hands with Perella, more or less.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was down toward. It was on. Yeah, it was when they were down on your end of the field that he was. I mean, Perella he was kind of like trying to keep him out of his personal space the whole time. Like he was within arm's length
And then
of Perella, behind him, next to him, in front of him, just trying to be as much of a
nuisance.
A nuisance, and just trying to block his view, just trying to really mess with him.
He was trying to do a courting ritual of some strange thing that didn't
I understand. He's a tall dude. He even made Bo look small, and Bo is what, 6'3"?
He made a lot of our team look small.
And there's also there's another player that's really tall for Canada too.
Oh,
I think his name is Oben.
Obasi.
Bosley?
Anu Obasi. He played.
Yeah.
I was telling you. He played for Baltimore. I want to say 3 or 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best ball handlers I have ever seen in my life. I hoped that he would sign with Syracuse back when the Silver Knights were a thing. And he hasn't played since. Like, he played that 1 year, fell off the face of the earth, and then possibly could be on Canada. But we don't know
Yeah, we don't have final roster or anything from them. Because I looked earlier in the day, and their website is still just John Williams, head coach.
It's kind of weird to see all the players and not knowing who was going or even had like an idea of how they were going to play against us.
Well, maybe just looking at last week, we didn't have any information. We literally just knew of the head coach, and we kind of made some assumptions as to who might be on the team. But then today, we got to see the basically the active roster, at least for the day. When we went to the fan zone and took a look at the paper that they gave us. I mean, we were at least able to see who was on the roster for today's game, but I mean, it was the first time we had seen anyone really besides the head coach.
Yeah.
Did you bring that paper with you?
It's home.
I've got it.
Oh, he's magic. He pulls it out of a hat.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of the guys I do believe were on the active roster of Mississauga at one point or another.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Bečić in goal, Babuli, the guy that scored the 2 goals,
Agard.
Yup, Agard was on the team. Marco Rodriguez.
I remember Yankovic.
Yup, tall dude.
I think Jared Phillips was on the team.
Sounds familiar. That was it. Velasategi, something. He was like number 91.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he was on the team in the beginning of the year and might have gotten injured. Harris was another guy that was on the team. So yeah, a lot of them I think were at one point on the Metro Stars. Now, whether or not that's going to be the roster next Friday, who knows?
Mm-hmm. That was, third quarter, like we said, nothing either way. And then it really looked like Utica was going to just bury them again in the fourth when they got the 5th goal. But then you had Agard get that one back real quick.
Yeah, in the fourth, they definitely seemed like they were, we would score and then they would push very hard and ultimately answer back a couple times. And then, I could tell, on the next kickoff that we were doing the same thing. As soon as they scored, we were trying to answer back as quickly as possible. Didn't always happen, but, ultimately it, at least ended in our favor. But
Sakura did a great goal. That 5th goal that they got,
that give and go with
that was a gorgeous,
beautiful, quick-footed. You're not going to stop something like that.
No.
Well, that goes along with what we had, been seeing. We literally saw the team almost developing as we were watching. I mean, in the first couple quarters, we saw these gaps that, the serve ups that went unanswered because no one was there. We saw the follow ups that should have happened that didn't. And then later on in the game, you started to see the follow-ups. You started to see the serves that were getting picked up by the others on the team. I mean, you started to see that development and that familiarization with each other, and that's when it really started to pick up.
I think having that preseason game is going to be a great help with next week's game against the Blast for the first time this season. Having working together in an active situation rather than just in practice, I think might give them an edge against the Blast.
Yeah, I don't even think Baltimore had a preseason game this year. I'm not exactly certain. They really didn't post anything about it. I know they did some sort of fan fest, which is great and wonderful. Putting your team up against another opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think this preseason game, Ryan learned a lot, and this week they're gonna be busting their butts for Friday. They're gonna be ready.
I'm looking at their website right now. There's no mention of a pregame. They do have a countdown for the first game, but there's no mention of a preseason game for the Blast.
I wouldn't doubt that they didn't have one.
Yeah.
I mean, if they didn't, they didn't. That's their own
prerogative.
That's their own choice. If that's what they want to do. But I mean,
They just plan on that mini field.
I still feel
The baby field.
I mean, I definitely think that the preseason game definitely showed its purpose. I mean, it or served its purpose. It definitely showed promise with the team, and again, gave them that ability to be able to try and work together in a actual full game environment rather than just practicing against each other. I mean, you can scrimmage against your own players all you want, but it's never going to serve as much of a purpose as going against another full-fledged team.
Right. Yeah, and that's what they posted an interview with Jake Schindler, and he said the same exact thing. He said, we've been beating the crud out of each other for the last 3 weeks. It's great to go up against someone else.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a great way to show the new guys and the people who were doing that last showing of
Last push
tryout for their spots, how the fans react with the games too, because the first time you probably go to a UCFC game, you're not expecting the crowd to be as loud and interactive as we are. There was a lot more yelling and cheering on than most games.
I actually thought this game, being the first one that everyone's been back to, felt tame.
It was quiet compared to
normal.
most games.
You gotta lead the new guys in a little bit. You can't just throw in.
Who was
He
it?
self-propelled himself into something.
Zuniga. Zuniga said, he goes, when I signed here, that's the first thing they told him. They're like, welcome to the best fan base you could ever have.
I mean, the store, the crowd, even the after signing that they had, so you can meet and talk.
I feel so bad for those store girls.
I felt so bad.
Dear
for
Lord.
them too. It was mobbed, considering
Yep.
how many people were at the preseason game, how many people wanted to meet the players, get the signings, and also buy the new stuff that just came out.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's not even all of it yet.
Oh, that wasn't all of it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, wow.
There's going to be more next weekend.
Coffee cup, coffee cup, coffee cup. I have a slight addiction, sorry.
That's like, it's fine. I'm not.
I mean, we were there for an hour to get the flag signed, and
It was
I would have just taken it with us to Rochester and had him sign it in Rochester.
it's gonna go with us to Rochester. I'm hoping to have a 3-foot flagpole with it so that it can be used for celebrations. And I need to get Schindler and Raymond to sign it because they weren't at the tables when we went through.
Did
You're
Hall
missing
sign
one
it too?
more person.
Did not get Hall.
Well, then ask Hall.
And Diegues and Salas because they weren't there.
Right.
Wait, it
You
only
don't-
took you an hour?
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Wow.
It moved really quickly though.
Yeah, it was moving pretty quick.
They also gave out paper too, so people could sign with the stationery, which also add a little extra time because those little pieces of paper would kind of move all over the table.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it built up a little bit because people would wait last minute to hand them stuff.
But the flag got a good reception.
Those.
So did the Mr. Miyagi, for what I heard.
Yes.
Oh, he loved it.
Yes, Goldman loved his headband comparison to the Karate Kid. And when we said Dave told him that he should crane kick, he goes, it's my new goal celebration.
Wax on, wax
Hope I get a
off.
lot of them this year.
I just love the way Dave said that. Well, maybe if he just stand there, just like this, just wait for him.
They
That's
newer
funny.
guys introduced themselves. They were so nice. None of the guys on the team are always so nice in advance. So the fact that they took their time, even while two of the players got hurt and were icing down the injured team, they were still out there, still talking to people, still standing up and taking pictures with people.
I still love Coughlin after the St. Patrick's Day massacre. And I'm like, Coughlin, can we get a picture? He's like, fans who don't want to kill me? Absolutely.
He was the first person in the sign up.
Oh, yeah, he always
Oh,
is.
yeah.
He was the first one, and then the new goalie was also there.
Perella.
Perella.
He was so nice.
Which
We
one?
met him at the Harrisburg game, didn't we? No, that was Matt. Who's Hannah's favorite player?
Ricardo Carvalho.
It was him.
Yep.
Carvalho came, shook hands. I mean, there were some critiques I heard from people about Perella letting in 2 there in the fourth quarter. There was one shutout in the entire league across the full season last year. One. You're not going to stop people from scoring in arena soccer.
No,
I don't-
but he
I don't think Perella's to blame for either one of those.
No.
Especially the second one. The second one was kind of like a defensive lapse, and Agard chipped it right over him. Like, Perella was being aggressive, but Agard chipped it over. I don't see Perella, I don't think they're really his fault.
No.
He's more power. I will say that the Coughlin and Perez,
Perella.
Perella.
they have very different techniques in the goal.
Coughlin is more offensive about it.
He's very offensive.
He's more, I'm going to get up there, I'm going to get in your face, that's going to be it. Like the slide tackle you watched.
But Perella was trying to do the same thing, though. I mean,
but he just didn't.
He's also not
accomplish
used
it.
to it yet. He's
well,
not, he doesn't.
It's not like he hasn't played
No.
before.
No, but he's not used to the chemistry that our defensive line also has either.
Also moved. He had a lot of fancy footwork in the goal compared to Coughlin. Coughlin's like, I'm doing this straightforward, then and done, and he was more bouncing around trying to help out as much as possible.
Perella had a few big saves there in the third quarter.
Favorite part of the game, though.
That's
No.
the finger wag to Kembe Mutombo.
No.
Well, the weird thing that when Perella was in goal was the fact we had a different goalie in net. Andrew Coughlin was right next to us. He's like yelling orders out, and I'm like, I haven't seen that in like 3 years because he's always been in net.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it was
that
just
was the
weird to
thing.
have him like on the bench.
I could see him, sitting a few games this year, especially on those back-to-backs.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, keep him rested for the playoffs a little more. And
Well, again, that's the thing is last season we didn't really have. I mean, we did have a backup, but
Not of the same caliber.
he did. I mean, we didn't really have someone of the same caliber as
Perella,
Yeah,
who
No.
I think he got half the starts in Harrisburg last year.
it was roughly cut right down the middle.
But really, that leads us into next week's 2 games. Friday night, they are at Baltimore. The roster looks very familiar. Hoxie, Vanzella, Donatelli, Rayleigh, Dos Santos, Guernsey, Thomas,
Well, hold on.
Mello, Dantas, Bruzzi.
Dos Santos will not be at those games.
Ray, I believe you mentioned he had the
Yeah.
Beach Cup.
Yep, he'll be at the Beach World Cup in Paraguay. So no Dos Santos next week.
Great. Bo will not have to wear some protection for his back door.
Yes, thankfully.
Looking out my back door. I had to. I'm sorry.
It'll be interesting, I'd say Friday, just because it's the first time the teams have seen each other since
Those heated matches.
the heated games in the playoffs. I'll be interested to see what goes on between Bo and Ibrahima Kita. I believe Kita was the one that threw the first shove or punch or whatever it was after the game ended, after the mini game ended.
Oh, okay.
The really tall defender.
I thought that was Dos Santos.
I don't think it was DeSantos. He was over toward the back of the.
I don't remember. All I know is I saw Bo throwing haymakers. That's all I saw.
Maybe not Kita.
It'll be
Kita's only 6
interesting to
foot.
see how their sportsmanship has improved. Hopefully.
Salafu?
I know Lucio was even in a shoving match.
Salafu's shorter.
It was either way.
Barring that,
But yeah, so there's a lot of resentment between the teams. And
Well, there always has been. It always
Yeah.
will be, I think.
yeah, there's definitely a strong rivalry between
that
those
word.
teams that has carried over. No matter what name the team carries or what location we're playing out of, they seem like it's just a very strong rivalry, and that's not going to change.
Yeah, think about it. Syracuse Crunch, Utica Comets. Utica FC, Baltimore.
For that Friday game, 72 Taverns doing a watch party. They're doing a giveaway again, kind of like in the playoffs. Don't want to say anyone's decided to go yet. Apparently I'm going.
I'm working. I'll be watching from my phone.
Not sure if I'm going to be making it, but at the very least, I'm going to be. I
Yeah.
definitely would be watching it from home for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Matt doesn't have a choice. He's going.
Yeah,
There
you go.
I'm gonna be there.
So
And then Sunday, same teams at the Bank Center.
I forgot to tell you, we now have a new listener,
Oh, we do.
our hawker.
Yeah.
oh,
Tom, Tim, Todd, who
Tom, Tim, Mike.
No, it's
no,
Rumpelstiltskin.
I vote John
Rumpelstiltskin.
Goodwin,
I'm
so
just
we
gonna
figure
call him
his
the
name
hawker.
out.
He saw our hat, wondered what the symbol was, and I told him we have a podcast. He goes, "Oh, I'm gonna have to start listening to that." Thing.
Oh, great
I
news.
actually got asked a few times because it was your hat. I got asked, "Oh, are you the one of the girls sitting up there with the weird guy with the hats on?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Oh, what is the key thing?" And I'm like, "It's the podcast," and they're like, "There's a podcast?"
Mhm.
So there's a lot of people at the game tonight who heard about it. So
Yeah, maybe we'll
shout
have
out
to get
those people if
a
they're
run of
listening.
stickers done up and just pass them out to passerbys.
I was gonna say get the little soccer ball, like see if we can get little soccer balls made up and.
I have seen them.
Well.
I would be afraid of you guys with
They're the
flying
stress balls,
objects.
but yeah.
Okay,
Here's
I'm not.
what,
Sorry,
here's
go
what
ahead.
we should do. Make up stickers, and then on Sunday, we find the bus, the Baltimore Blast bus, and we'll get
Just-
stickers on their bus.
Just plaster them.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's illegal.
Yeah,
but
we might get
sure.
arrested. No, Utica PD might help.
It's only
Yeah.
illegal if you get caught.
I mean, the security guards
Um,
at the odd would probably help.
They'll
That's
peel
exactly-
right off.
That does not endorse any illegal activity.
Activities, yeah, I just
Absolutely
kind of
not.
had to do that.
Don't do anything illegal. It is bad.
Look at Matt. He's like, I was just suggesting.
That was just a suggestion. I'll do it.
Hoping we'll see a sellout again.
Yep.
Oh, you will. Absolutely.
And I'm sure the crowd will be even louder than today because, like you said, we were tame.
I'm
We
bringing
were
my towel,
You're bringing your rally towel?
my rally towel.
I'm hoping the drum comes out. Like
It
Dave
will.
needs the drum.
Dave said the only reason he did not get the drum today was he got there late.
but
And when he went to the office to get it, they said somebody already had it, so he thought it was Joe Robert.
Dave, if
And then
you're
all of a sudden,
listening,
here's Alicia.
Dave, if you're listening, upgrade to a megaphone.
No, just don't. Don't
Yep.
give him any ideas.
I already put that out there.
I didn't see Roberts today.
He was.
He was walking. No, he was there. We actually saw him when we walked in. When we were walking over to the fan zone, he was carrying around basically like a GoPro on a stick. You know.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
was filming. The
He
Bank
was working
Center.
more than Hype Manning.
Yeah, so he wasn't
Um,
really doing the hype man stuff.
They didn't play the "We Love You City" song.
We love
We did. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that song to me still needs an upgrade. It needs to be faster.
It really does.
There wasn't
Remi-
a lot of like cheering at all, really.
Not really, but wait until the regular season games.
Yeah, it's everybody's again. Just like the players, the fans got to ease back into it too. I mean,
Look, after that playoff game, it took me 3 days before I could speak properly
It
again.
took me 2 months.
It was the
Yeah.
best 3 days
Months.
of my life.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah.
And my name is Marge. I'll take you on it for 3 days.
He really
Okay,
did sound like
So remind me next weekend, Matt. Are you still down to help us? I don't want to say so. Stalk some of the new guys for that giveaway idea I had.
I can stalk. I have no problem with that.
that.
I can stalk.
Keeper's
I mean,
corner.
I know some of them. I mean, I know
Stalking
one of
players.
them.
Matt's like, we don't necessarily need to stalk. We can just walk right up to him and be like, hey.
We don't condone the stalking of players or persons otherwise not named in the Utica City roster.
We don't condone anything illegal. Stalking is highly illegal.
Yeah.
Only if you get caught. Please don't.
Katie,
No,
stop
no,
talking.
done.
Just stop.
Look, we're not turning this into BTV where it talks about buying bolt cutters and using them to break into.
This
Jeff Bezos'
escalated
house.
very quickly. Matt, are you willing to help us get some stuff taken
Yeah,
care of?
absolutely.
Okay.
All right, Shell, do you want to announce your giveaway?
Not yet.
No.
Not
You
until
just-
we're able to get it done.
You want to tease it? Okay.
Yeah, tease it.
Like
on Twitter. Tell your dog. Well, don't tell your dog unless you want to.
And if your dog has a Twitter, that's awesome.
Well, then fine. I'll announce my giveaway.
Then you announce your giveaway.
Fine. For anyone that saw on social media this week, or those of us at the game, we have Keeper's Corner podcast beanies now. We'll give one away on Twitter went away on Facebook, but
Yes.
they are contingent upon two things. We need to get 50 plays this week, which would be about a 50% increase from our best week. So, spread the word. And if you've listened to us once, if you're in the car with someone that likes Utica and doesn't know about us, play it again just to get those numbers up. Because follows are great on Twitter and Facebook, but it's the listens that let us know.
What's the other contingency
Are we actually
plan?
doing good?
Province.
Hmm?
So many.
So yeah, the other contingency will be based on how much interaction the posts get. So that being said, I'll put up a number with those posts tomorrow, sometime in the afternoon, Monday. So I guess today for those of you listening, since we record Sunday night.
They're really nice hats, guys. They're super warm, really good quality.
Although I have to admit, the logo when I first put it on was freezing.
Yeah, that's because it's actually embroidered. Like
It was frozen. Like my head, I was like,
They're not any way, shape, or form like the chintzy hats that you get in some giveaways.
Yeah, they were very toasty when I could not wear that in the.
No.
no, I wanted to, and it was too warm.
and then I thought I lost my hat. And we
was-
won't go into that.
It was
They're-
it was stuck to her butt.
It was stuck to my butt.
I don't wear hats, but I would wear this one. So it's definitely worth it. Make sure you guys are listening and subscribing.
Hannah took mine.
Hannah took yours.
Yes. She
That
has it.
expected.
Darn kid. Yeah, Hannah has it.
Should we get you another one, Matt?
No, I'll just take it back.
Oh, that's so
We'll just take it
mean.
back.
One of our youngest
He-
fans stole Matt's hat, and
His
Hannah,
daughter.
His
his
daughter.
really
Yes,
loved
the
it.
youngest fan and kind of related to me.
MASL off the wall members will know her from the Merlin's Picks segments.
Which came out yesterday, guys. I don't know if you watched it yet.
Have not had the chance. Like I mentioned earlier, it's opening weekend for hunting, so I was
Yeah.
up early and in bed early.
Well, I won't tease my predictions, but I don't know if you guys are gonna like what I had to say about this weekend.
Uh-oh.
Go for it.
What do
Well,
you got?
Well, I think it's gonna go 1-1, and
I think that too.
That's fair.
Well, they're
yeah,
gonna drop one, but one.
I think 1-1 is a definite. I think it's gonna be each team wins at home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the loss of Adriano Dos Santos is huge, but it is the Baltimore Blast, and they're still the same team they were last year. They really haven't added anybody. I mean, they lost Elton de Oliveira to Harrisburg, but they picked up Victor France. I don't know if he's going to be available for that game because he still is inactive. But your usual suspects are still there. So, and given the team's split for the most part, the season series, I think 1-1 is a definite possibility. Hannah, on the other hand, went 2-0 to Utica. So,
I think that's what we all hope for, but
right.
That's the hope.
and
I think-
realistically,
I think the key is going to be getting out to early leads in both games, especially with Baltimore.
yeah.
With their backs against the wall, we've all seen what they can do. So keep
And-
pushing, especially like what they did that one game where they broke the 19 game home winning streak or something.
Yeah, where it was like 9-1 or something like
9-1.
that.
Yeah, they kept pushing, and that's exactly what they have to do in Baltimore.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I think if they do that, they'll definitely win on Sunday.
Yeah. You definitely can't, especially against a team like Baltimore, get a first half lead and then come out in the second half and kind of sit back on your heels and play to protect. You have to keep pushing it down their throat.
And that's what happened. That's what happened last year in the first game. Utica went out to a 2-0 lead. Baltimore came right back in the third quarter, scored 2 quick goals, Utica turned it right around and ended up winning 4-2, I think. So just push the pedal to the metal, and you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just for the sake of argument, I'm gonna actually say that it is going to be a 1-1 series, but I think that both teams are going to lose at home, just like the playoffs. Because Utica pushed really hard when they were in Baltimore the last time, and they won in the playoffs. They won, really when it counted, and then, when they came back to Utica, that's when everything fell apart, and we ended up losing at home. So I'm actually thinking, we might see a repeat of that. I do definitely 100% agree. I don't believe it's going to be a 2-0 series for either team.
I don't know. I mean, I think Utica really showed strong today, so I'm going to be that wild and also disagree with most of you and think Utica's going to take it full day at times. Power that they showed, the the great way that they played against each other today, played off of each other, able to support each other, and the footwork and the defense that they showed strong is going to be awesome because they need that strong defense against the Blast. Blast is very offensive heavy, and that means they're going to be playing defense a lot, and you've got some really strong defensive players. So I think they're going to take it. They're going to kick the Blast behindies all the way back to Baltimore.
They're going to blast the Blast back to Baltimore?
I mean, it's better than saying they're going to wipe the floor with them because that just is,
I hate that saying.
yeah. Blast it back.
Baltimore Blast or blasting?
Oh my God.
I like that one better.
Yeah, I don't see Baltimore winning both games. So 1-1 or 2-0. I mean, we all hope 2-0, but
of course
2-0 would be awesome.
Hoping for 2-0, but I'm going 1-1.
I just don't want to see Rochester at the top of the Eastern Conference standings by the end of next week.
No.
No, too soon in the season for that.
Yeah.
Don't kill our hopes yet, guys.
No.
I believe that's pretty much everything we're going to talk about this week.
That's all I got.
Matt, do you want to plug your pluggables?
Plug my pluggables. Let's see. What do we got? In the box, usually every Friday. My schedule might change a little bit. I know Hannah will be here on Tuesday, so I might do something on Tuesday. Also on the volley with Jeremy Rika, who is also an amazing MASL analyst. We talk about everything MASL. And then this Keepers Corners podcast thing that I'm doing. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
Maybe. Not sure.
Not sure.
Well, they know what they're talking about as well. So I think that's it. I can't think of anything else. Doing so much.
Oh, no. Thanks for coming on. If you guys don't know, Matt also runs the Utica City Hooligans page on Facebook. He is the FC Fanatic on Twitter. He writes for Turf and Boards covering Utica for the soccer in the city.
Funny you mentioned that. I actually, I won't be writing for them as much now that I've got all of this stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be doing a lot of the stuff online via Facebook, via YouTube. I will write articles once in a while, but it won't be as often. So a lot of this is going to be online.
All right. Well, there you have it. Katie, thanks for joining us this week.
Thanks for having me, even though I live here.
You know what?
Do you have any pluggables you'd like to plug?
Yeah, any pluggables you'd like to plug?
Make sure you guys subscribe and follow Facebook because everyone here is really interactive. And it's one of the reasons I enjoy listening to the podcast and interacting on the Facebook and Twitter pages because not only do fans listen, but players from everywhere is kind of listening now.
Mood listens to us.
Yes, we get our Canada listen in, but now we'll be Dallas.
Now we'll be Dallas.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, that's everything for us this week. Like Kate said, we're on Facebook, Keepers Corner Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Keepers Corner Pod. And until next week, when we will be discussing the 2 Baltimore games, I'm Matt.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Michelle.
Thank you very much for listening.